gentlemen, now I mentioned at the beginning of the tour we changed locations of the tunnel from the halfway line to this area. There was a lot of football stadium disasters in the UK in the early 80s, so there was a big overhaul of British Stadia across the UK. Also during the early 90s, Manchester United were redeveloping Old Trafford, and it was also decided that a tunnel area would be required so we can get emergency vehicles onto the pitch if any sort of a disaster to unfold out in the stadium. Of the occasion, here it is. And then with that, we make our way down the tunnel.
Well, that was an unreal experience. Now time for possible purchases at the megastore here at Old Trafford. I might buy a scarf, I might buy something else, I might buy something more, but I can't spend too much. As we know, I'm still a broke-ass student, but we'll check it out. Well, not a bad day. I bought a jacket, training jacket, and also a little badge that has the crest of Manchester United. Now I'm heading back to the hotel to check my bag, retrieve my bag, and then after that we'll take a tram back to central Manchester where I will be visiting the National Football Museum. So it's a football day on this beautiful Manchester Saturday, and so that concludes Old Trafford. I gotta find some grub too. I will report back once I get to central Manchester. My God, I just landed. Just got off at Exchange Square because the weather is so beautiful and you never see that in Manchester apparently. This is where all the people hang out, I guess. All the pubs, all the shopping complexes, all that way. And some more here, and then food places, all these restaurants. Look at how many people there are. This is beautiful. My God. I never thought I would call people beautiful. But damn, I have found a hidden gem here in central Manchester. Holy shit. Now I have to find somewhere to eat before I go to the National Football Museum. I'm gonna start walking that way, maybe. God, I love this place.
Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, how it goes. Some things meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too. Well, I can't help falling in love with you.
What are their names? Oh. Oh, I love how they're so dog friendly here in England. I'm Canadian, and they never let dogs anywhere inside, anything, no pubs, nothing.
Yeah, good.
And they're so nice here, and all the dogs are so well behaved. It's great. Can I pet them? Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Oh. This is the National Football Museum. It's £6. You can get yourself a picture with the league trophy as well as the FA Cup trophies, which you will see on my photos. Here it is. You hold it up with a pair of gloves and get your picture taken. And over here is the main lobby, and I guess we'll make our way upstairs as we go along. Ooh. Get this thing out of the video. Ooh. Hey, that's what we want. Hey. This is there. Ooh, I'm gonna win this. Watch this. Ooh, I'm gonna win this. Watch this. Alright, Ivory Coast. Netherlands. This one. Portugal. This one. France. This one. Switzerland. This one. Spain. This one. Argentina. This one. Croatia. This one. Japan. It's that one. Sweden is this one. I told you. I told you.
It's easy. I'll show you. The match footage will show here.
I'm gonna be a commentator. Watch this, I'm gonna be a commentator.
We'll show over here.
They have a screen behind me,
All you need to do is read along.
and then they're gonna play it back through that camera right there.
Then do have a go without
Watch this.
autocue. It's great fun.
Watch
Let's
this.
give it a go. You know what to do. You've seen it done at home.
Second video
but
will
you've
be me
always thought
behind the
you could do
screen.
it better.
Okay?
Are you ready? This is it. I'm going. Hello, welcome to this special National Football Museum edition of Match of the Day. We've got a treat in store for you today, a classic match with a very special commentary. And this is who we had in the studio. Hello there. It was a commentary I'll never forget. Let's see what you think.
Hi, it's Gary, and welcome to Wembley for the 1973 FA Cup Final, Second Division Sunderland lead 1-0 against First Division Leeds United. Let's rejoin the action. I'm too quick. Let's rejoin the action. And it's Hunter now for Leeds. Giles. Jones. Ray. Leeds are really pushing forward. Cherry, brilliant save! And Lorimer scores! Go! Astonishing! Let's look at the replay. Lorimer thought he'd scored, but what a save by Montgomery. That's 2 minutes of injury time gone. That's it, the final whistle. And Sunderland have won the FA Cup from the Second Division. What a moment in football. Well, it's time for me to head back to the studio. So Gary, how do you like this?
3, 2, 1.
So this is the 1966 World Cup exhibition. French-produced Cubans. Some of the depictions use racial stereotypes. Stand right there, dude. Look at this shit. That's North Korea. They think we're a bunch of Chinese people. See that? We're Italy, Soviet Union, Chile, they look fun, right? Now look at Mexico. That's North Korea. Are you shitting me?
Well, it's time for me to head on to my next city, and that will be Oxford. Through these couple of days, I've explored quite a bit of Manchester, but I think there's still a lot to explore. Got my coffee in hand, ready to go back to Piccadilly Station. I thoroughly enjoyed Manchester. Thank you, Manchester, for being such an awesome city, and for me being able to find out your true character. mean, I love this place. Like, it's just still bustling with people. I'm still in Exchange Square, and it's unreal. I spent most of today here on top of Old Trafford, and it was unreal. Thank you very much, Manchester. On to the next city. Good morning. I got up like a couple hours ago. I'm just in a quiet area of Oxford, just waiting on my walking tour to begin. I just have to find the rendezvous point where everyone's gonna meet, and then we'll all go. But so far it's been great. I haven't been able to walk around much. That's what I'm gonna do after this video ends. But yeah, I have a whole full day at Oxford. I'm excited to see here. Oxford is a university city. Literally, there's campuses all over the place. Students live here, all kinds of students. Oxford is known as the top university, or at most always in the top 3 in the world at, I think, specific disciplines, but I think everything. It's just crazy here. But I'll provide more fun facts as it comes, and I'll begin my adventure. I'll see you soon.
I didn't know that. I went to Friday. That's the canteen.
We are currently stood in front of Balliol College. Now, Balliol is in fact one of Oxford's oldest colleges. Dates back to the year 1263, which means this year it will be celebrating its 754th anniversary as an Oxford college. But before I talk about the college itself, I thought it would first make sense for me to tell you a little bit about our university and how we came to be. So for a start, Oxford University is the 2nd oldest surviving university in Europe, which means you're all wondering to yourselves now, what's the oldest university in Europe? Does anyone have any ideas out of curiosity? Sorry?
Florence.
Worms? Oh, Germany, not Germany. Sorry, what was that? France? Florence. You're in the right kind of vicinity. Italy is the right country. The University of Bologna is the oldest university in Europe. We are proud, however, to take the number 2 spot. Our university is in fact nearly 1,000 years old. We officially date back to the year 1096, and we started in the University Church of St Mary the Virgin, which we will sort of reach at about the halfway point of this tour, basically. And is in fact the oldest purpose-built museum in the world. Quite simply, before this museum was a museum, it was a museum. It was the original site of the Ashmolean Museum, in fact, before that got moved further down the road onto what's known as Beaumont Street. Now, if you get the chance to visit this museum, I thoroughly recommend it. It's open up until 5 o'clock today. Opens at midday, closes at 5, and it's free to go inside. And if you go down into the basement of this building, you will find yourself staring face to face with none other than Albert Einstein's chalkboard from his 1931 lecture at Rhodes House, in which he wrote down the entire theory of relativity. And yes, to this day, those chalk equations are still intact. I thoroughly recommend a visit to this museum if you want to go and see that. It is truly remarkable. Now, directly across from the University Museum is a slightly less aesthetically pleasing building. That is known as the Western Library, originally opened in the year 1939 as the New Bodleian Library. Now, it was designed by an architect called Giles Gilbert Scott. Gilbert Scott mostly focused on industrial-style buildings. By one of the greatest architects, in my opinion, who ever lived, Sir Christopher Wren. Now, Wren truly did a remarkable job with architecture in this country. He's most famous, of course, for the stunning domes and the beauty of St Paul's Cathedral, which, of course, has contributed to London's skyline for nearly 400 years. Now, Divinity School was established here in the year 1427. Its sole purpose was to be used as classrooms. So it's actually here where some of the earliest lectures at Oxford University took place. Later on, while it was in the process of being built, the university received a rather fun donation in the form of books from a man called Humphrey, Duke of Gloucester. Now, he gave us so many books from his personal library that we didn't have enough space to house them all in the university churches, where the first library was. And as a result, the first floor of the Divinity School became our first purpose-built library in 1435 in the form of the Duke Humphrey's Library. But in my opinion, this is one of the most beautiful facades of any building in Oxford. The beautiful Gothic architecture combined with these huge windows designed to let in as much natural light as possible. It is a truly enchanting sight. But instead, the Rialto Bridge in Venice certainly bears more of a resemblance to it. So there is a reason that this bridge is not based on the Bridge of Sighs, and unfortunately this requires me to now bring up Cambridge. It's a terrible place, filled with terrible people. I've always said the reception is as cold as the weather when you go to Cambridge. There's a reason that we don't like Cambridge, well, multiple reasons. It all begins with the fact that those students, those cowards, fled here and started their own kind of rival university. I can't remember the exact year of establishment of Cambridge. Dates, not days. That'd be really precise, wouldn't it? Now, they have over their years, over their lifetime, stolen a lot of Oxford's ideas, a lot of them. The very essence of the college system was stolen from Oxford. We had a college called Merton, which I'll show you later. 1264 this college was established. Received an unsolicited visit from the Bishop of Ely, who looked around and then scuttled off back to Cambridge and started Peterhouse in 1284, the very first Cambridge college, based on an Oxford college. So this just sets us up even further as to what's to come. They've stolen some of our best academics over the years as well. C.S. Lewis, he was previously a fellow of Magdalen College, but Cambridge snuck in and stole him away to Cambridge. Having said that, he could never actually bear to live in Cambridge. He still lived in Oxford, but thought to himself, I'd much rather stay here and do the huge commute to Cambridge than possibly think about living there, which is a light well for where that passageway actually runs. Oh yes. Oh, below your feet, by the way. How do you all... There's floor, okay? I don't know why you all sort of went like that, but below your feet, you are currently stood on top of 5 stories worth of library. There are 5 underground libraries continuing downwards, and on the bottom floor, that is where we have these librarians who have basically been there for 10 years, haven't seen the light of day in 10 years. Their responsibility, by the way, is to digitize all of the books in our collection. They've gone blind from the lack of natural light. By a man called Dr. John Radcliffe, a highly talented physician at a time when medicine in England was utterly terrible. This was a time in England's history in which we were relying on such bizarre treatments as bloodletting, leeches, drilling holes in people's skulls if you had a migraine. They're really good quality medicine, basically. I mean, going to your doctors was pretty much signing a death warrant. You turned up saying, oh look, I've got this nasty cut on my leg, and he'd say, don't worry, we can fix that. Here's a saw, I'm just gonna chop your leg off, and you will be absolutely fine. Medicine really was terrible, basically. But John Radcliffe, seeing the kind of horrific treatments that were going on in this country at the time, decided to throw all of his medical journals on the fire in protest. He essentially rewrote English medicine in this country by incorporating something new that had not actually been considered in medicine before John Radcliffe, in England anyway. It was something known as logic.